Brown, man. Errol Jr. My boy Money Brown, he get a lot of money. That's why I call him Money Brown.
What's good, Money Brown TV? What up, what up?
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Money Brown TV. Thank you so much for everything.
Yo, what's going on out there, fight? Well, this your boy Money back with another one, man. And this one here is on Manny Pacquiao, the A Division World Champ, Errol the True Spence, the Unified World Champion, and Terrance Crawford, a 3-Division World Champion, a former Undisputed World Champion, and the current WO Welterweight World Champion. Now, what I want to come and talk to y'all about, man, is Manny Pacquiao and his relevancy at 147 pounds, and him being a key to Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford negotiations. See what I'm saying? A lot of people, right, is pissed off that Manny Pacquiao is still a key player in this game, right? Manny, yes, he's old. Yes, he's been around. Yes, he made X amount of money. Fought in one of the biggest fights, well, in the biggest fight in fucking boxing history for his money, with him and Floyd Money Mayweather. But Manny is still in the game. Manny is a world champion, the Super WBA world champion, beating Keith Thurman. You understand what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, who was arguably the #1 welterweight. You did. But this is why Manny is still relevant. You know what I'm saying? This is why he is still relevant. Because he still holds a fucking fan base. You did. You can put Manny on fucking pay-per-view and it's still going to sell. They got to account for something. I know people say they want Manny to get the fuck up out the game. They done with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao holding up Terrance Crawford and Errol Spence, this, that, and the third. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. You understand what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao can put one of these dudes on a different level than what they on right now. You feel me? He could put one of these dudes on a different level than what they on right now. We all know what's going down with the negotiation tactic between Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford. We all know that both of them have Manny Pacquiao #1 on their hit list. And with Errol Spence being a unified world champion, you dig? If he can get in there and whoop Manny Pacquiao ass and get that WBA super and have 3 scraps, become 3 scraps shorty, we know this fight get a little bit more tougher to make. You know what I'm saying? We know Errol Spence is most definitely the AA side, the A+ side after that. You feel me? But if Terrance Crawford can get his ass in there and put them hands on Manny Pacquiao and get that WBA scrap, then he can come to the table and force 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Because let's just talk about Bud Crawford and Pacquiao first. We all know Bud numbers on pay-per-view haven't done that well, right? We all can agree to that. We all can attest to that, right? We know Bud popularity is not where it should be. Let's say it ain't like he's not known, but it's not where it should be, with him being a 3-division world champion, a former undisputed world champion, and a world champion right now at the welterweight division. He could be way bigger than what he is right now, right? Now, we all know Bud was supposed to fight Pacquiao over on Top Rank when they was on the same side. Bob never gave him the fight because Bob sat around and Bob was running about his pockets thinking Floyd Mayweather was coming back to the game and thinking Manny Pacquiao was going to get that rematch, and Bob wanted all that motherfucking Mayweather money in his bank account, but it never came to fruition. Pacquiao ended up leaving the ass, you did. But if Bud would have fought him then, it would have put Bud on a different level. It would have put Bud on a different level. You understand me? Bob Arum knew that. He knew that, but he didn't want to get that fight to Bud because he knew Bud would become a fucking star over there, and he wouldn't have knew what to do with fucking Bud Crawford, just like he don't know what to do with Bud Crawford now. You feel me? So that was a miss hit. That was a miss for Bud. A very miss hit. You feel me? Because that was the biggest thing that he was chasing over on the Top Rank side. Would have put Bud on a totally different level, dog. You know what I'm saying? Now, right now, Bud is in the position that he's in. He needs Manny Pacquiao to get to the table with Errol Spence to try to force a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? If Bud was to fight Manny Pacquiao on pay-per-view right now, we know for a fact it'll do good numbers. We know for a fact that it'll do good numbers. You dig? If he beat him, he become the unified world champion. He just beat the legend, probably retired his ass. And now people can't say, oh, you know what, Errol Spence numbers look like this over Terrance Crawford. You understand what I'm saying? He can come back and say, you know what, I just did this pay-per-view with Pacquiao, and we sold 500,000 copies. Sorry, 500,000 bars, not copies. That's like a goddamn record. 500,000 bars. You feel me? Errol Spence, his highs was 300 plus. My highs is 500,000. What's up? What's up? You see what I'm saying? Then he can flex those muscles and say I want 50-50. But he haven't did that. And Bob trying to rush to Manny Pacquiao, rush to get to Manny Pacquiao because he understand the leverage that Errol Spence have, and he understand the business. And Bob Arm even know Errol Spence is the A side. He know for a fucking fact Errol Spence is the A side. He been around long enough. He been around long enough. Even if you crazy ass fans don't want to believe it, you know what I'm saying? Even if Crawford don't want to believe it, Crawford know it. You know, just, like I said, just his ego. But they know Errol is the A side. They know the only thing that can even them odds is if Crawford can get a fucking Pacquiao fight, win on pay-per-view, and snatch that scrap. But let's say Errol Spence gets Manny Pacquiao. Let's just say Errol Spence get Manny Pacquiao. We know if Errol going on with Pacquiao, put his paws on Manny Pacquiao, whoop his ass, get that title. Do you know what that's going to do for Spence? Do you know what that's going to do for Spence? Already with his buzz growing, already with the hype behind him. You did? Because Spence going here and whoop Danny Garcia ass, he's still going to grow. He's still going to grow. Because he got a storyline behind the car accident, him coming back, taking on a tough competition right after the accident. Everybody got their eyes on Errol Spence to see how he looked on December the 5th. You did? So if he go in there and look spectacular, he's still going to get built up. He's still going to get bigger, and his popularity going to grow even more. But just think if he go in there with Manny Pacquiao after a Danny Garcia fight, put his hands on Manny Pacquiao, whoop his ass, get that scrap, get those fans from Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence become a megastar. Errol Spence become a megastar. And with Bud talking about 50-50, you think 60-40 is something that got you pissed off? Errol Spence might come to the table and say 70-30. You know what I'm saying? 70-30. I just did 500, 600 pay-per-view buys, 700 pay-per-view buys with Manny Pacquiao. Who knows what them numbers are going to be with Spence and fucking Manny Pacquiao. That can be crazy. That can be crazy. You see what I'm saying? So, Bob Arm knows it. Bud Crawford knows it. But like I said, if Errol Spence get his hands on Manny Pacquiao first, do you know what that do for Errol Spence? You get the time about 4 back-to-back pay-per-views. You just beat 3 top fucking welterweights. You feel me? With Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and Manny Pacquiao. Back-to-back on pay-per-view. Come on, man. Nobody is doing it like that. Nobody is doing it like that. Then comes turn Bud Crawford, and Bud better be talking with some sense. He better be talking with some sense. You did? But Manny Pacquiao is very relevant, dog. He's very relevant. People need to just give Pacquiao the credit that he deserves, man. You know what I mean? I know that he's looking to fight Mikey Garcia. I see this shit. I understand what people saying. Yes, he's looking to fight Mikey Garcia. Right? But after that, he's up for grabs. Because I think he's going to beat Mikey. It's a possibility that Mikey can beat Pac, though. I ain't going to lie. Mikey is a hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. But I'm going to edge Pacquiao in that fight, right? Now, Pacquiao get back Mikey. We looking at Pacquiao looking for his biggest payday after that because he only got 2 more fights. Pac not finna stick around for too much longer. After Mikey, he's looking for his biggest payday, right? People talking about Conor McGregor. Yeah, but if he go fight Conor McGregor, he gets stripped for the WA scrap, right? He goes to Conor McGregor. We know Conor McGregor is not going to sell like Floyd Mayweather. It's just not. It'll sell. Don't get me wrong, it'll sell. But we all want, once people see like, oh man, Manny Pacquiao gonna knock his ass out in 2 rounds. People not gonna buy that shit. And I think once common sense hit Manny Pacquiao, he gonna say, you know what? I'm not gonna make my biggest payday with no fucking Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? I can make my biggest payday, in my opinion, with Errol Spence Jr. in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. You feel me? With Errol Spence Jr. in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Because McGregor and Floyd, when that happened, Floyd was the hottest thing in the boxing. McGregor was the hottest thing in the UFC. People ain't really checking for Conor McGregor like that anymore. They not. You know, he still got his fan base. He got to come back and do something in the UFC and make a big-ass splash to be on the level that he was on when he fought Floyd Money Mayweather. And we know that's not happening, in my opinion, because you got to be Khabib, the man that whooped your ass and made you tap. But with that being said, Manny Pacquiao's biggest payday is with Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. in the Cowboy Stadium. So what I feel like, if Bud and them and if Bud and Bob don't make that fight happen with Manny Pacquiao and talk sense and give him the money that he's looking for, the $20 million, I'm quite sure Al Heyman will get that money to Manny Pacquiao to get Pac in the ring with Errol Spence, and might give him more than what they was asking for with Conor McGregor, because they want that scrap. Because I'm not gonna lie, Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford for undisputed is a hell of a fight, dog. It's already a hell of a fight right now, but for undisputed at the division, dog, the storyline you can put behind that shit, the way you can build that shit up and sell that shit, it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Crazy. Because everybody knows it's the biggest fight in boxing now. It was number 2 behind behind Wilder Joshua. But now it becomes number 1. And if it's number 1 for all the marbles, Lord, come on now. We know what it's gonna do. And Money Brown is in the building one way or another. You hear me? By hook or by crook. I'm gonna have my ass in that building watching that fight. When it's over with, motherfucker like, hey, Money, the police out there waiting on you. Nah, roll my cripple ass out the other way, dog. Get the truck ready. Let's get the fuck up out of here. But nonetheless, dog, that is the biggest fight in fucking boxing. And if it's for all the marbles, dog, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be way bigger than it is for 3 scraps. And I'm not saying it ain't big right now for 3 scraps. But if that bitch is for undisputed, dog, it's gonna be crazy, dog. It's gonna be crazy. You feel me? And I want it to be for undisputed. I know a lot of people, oh man, yeah, I don't want to fight. I want it to be for undisputed. I want both of them kings to get as much money as they can make out of their fight. You dig? The most money they can make out of their fight. And for undisputed, that's the most money they can make. Because I don't see nobody at 147 beat either or. You know what I'm saying? I got my shit that I said about Bud when they was hating on the PBC dudes, when they talking about everybody was ducking and he had fights out there if his promoter would have put the money up. But nonetheless, I see them beating everybody at 147. Their toughest competition is themselves. You feel me? But I do see Bud and Errol happening. And if it's for undisputed, it's the biggest fight in boxing. It gets no bigger. So I want one of these dudes to get their hands on Manny Pacquiao, either or. If Terrance Crawford get him, he can come say 50-50. If Errol Spence get him, hopefully 60-40 is still on the table. And Bud is being reasonable. Because this fight is going to come down to Terrance Crawford putting his ego to the side, and I'm telling y'all that now. I'm telling y'all that now. These are facts. This is not no fucking feelings or anything. Because I like Bud Crawford and I ride for Errol Spence. You did? But facts are facts. This fight is going to come down to Bud Crawford putting his ego to the side. And that's just what it is. But Manny Pacquiao is very relevant in this game, everybody. You can't get pissed off. The man spent his life putting himself in position to where he at now, and I'm not going to knock him. For sticking around in this era fighting these kids. You dig? I'm not going to knock him. I'm not going to get pissed off at him. But he have to fight one. Either you want to die by the gun or you want to die by the knife. But you have to fight one, Manny. And I'm going to tell you, the gun might be more quicker. You dig? The gun might be more quicker. I'm going to tell you that now. But at the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao is still relevant, everybody. And he holds the key to the Errol Spence and the Terrance Crawford negotiation. You dig? And he holds the key to the fight being the biggest fight in the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a fact, dog. That's just a fact. I respect all 3 of these dudes. I respect Manny for his legacy. I respect him for his heart. You dig? I respect Errol Spence for his dog. I respect Terrance Crawford for his dog. They both animals. And like I always allude to, it take an animal to kill an animal. I repeat, it take an animal to kill an animal. This fight will happen, and if it's for undisputed, it's the biggest fight in boxing, and it will break a record. You dig? It will break a record. So shouts out to all 3 of these dudes, man. Let's hope they can settle this shit out. But I do want one of these dudes to fight Manny Pacquiao before they fight each other. Call it what you want to call it. Money run this, that, and the third. I don't care. I want it to be for undisputed. And until then, this your boy Manny. This the NSBC movement. Ain't nobody safe in these streets. Hit them thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to donate. OG Money on Cash App. TreyHopper52@gmail.com on PayPal. If you can't, just tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share the video. And y'all know what it is. Big dog status.
I be damned if you work me. I'm the strategist, homie, and here's my bio if you niggas don't know me. What you mean you ain't ready though? My question's what you in it for? Ain't never walked a tightrope. That's what I got.